I cannot afford to retire. I live off of Social Security, which does not pay all my bills. That's why I'm looking for work.
Can you believe it? There are people who did everything right their entire lives, worked hard, paid taxes, raised families, and still can't afford a place to live in the end. Sounds unreal, right? Yeah. This story starts with a man named Robert Morris. 8 years ago, he was out on the streets, drifting from place to place, riding buses just to get by, and that went on for more than a decade. Now, at 73, he barely manages to rent a small room using his Social Security check. But what really weighs on his mind isn't his past, it's the present.
I've never hurt anybody or caused any harm on anybody in my life for me to have to suffer the way I've had to suffer. And I suffer.
Because, his story isn't rare anymore. In fact, across the United States today, more than 770,000 people are experiencing homelessness on any given night, and about 1 in 5 of them, roughly 146,000 people, are 65 or older. Let that sink in for a second. That's tens of thousands of seniors, right? And it doesn't stop there. In 2023 alone, an estimated 138,000 older adults experienced homelessness on a single night, and that number keeps rising year after year.
That we can't find help.
We can't even lay down on the street and take a nap without getting harassed. Anywhere.
So, what's really going on here? Because these aren't people who failed at life. Not at all. Many are living on fixed incomes, and nearly half of older renters are already spending more than 30% of their income just on housing.
The inflation is throwing additional seniors out onto the streets right now. If a senior loses a spouse, there goes half of the, too much of their income.
Add rising costs, health issues, or the loss of a spouse, and suddenly everything starts to fall apart. And that's when a quiet crisis turns into something much bigger. So tell me, does this still sound like a rare situation to you? Or is something deeper starting to break beneath the surface? In major cities like Los Angeles, Seattle, and New York City, the numbers aren't just rising, they're surging. Shelters are full, rents keep climbing, and the trend isn't slowing down. Researchers from the Joint Center for Housing Studies of Harvard University warn that by 2030, the number of older adults without stable housing could double. Not increase, a full doubling. This isn't a temporary spike, it's structural. The baby boomer generation, one of the largest generations in U.S. history, is aging into retirement with less savings than expected. Add health issues, fixed incomes, and limited job opportunities, and the pressure builds fast.
Arlington, and they had my rent, instead of being 30% of my income, it was almost twice that. And I couldn't pay the rent, plus there was never anyone in the office office to discuss it with, and I have them reconfigure my subsidy. And they evicted me in October of that year.
This crisis doesn't look like it used to. It's no longer just young people or those with long-term instability. More and more, it's retirees, people who worked for decades, people who thought they were secure, and now they're not. Most older Americans rely heavily on Social Security Administration benefits. The average monthly check, around $1,800 to $2,000. On paper, that sounds livable. In reality, it's not, especially in today's economy.
People delve into their own world and they're not aware of people outside of themselves.
Inflation has hit hard. According to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, food prices have risen over 20% since 2020. Energy, transportation, healthcare, all up. Everything costs more. But income? Almost the same. There's no buffer, no flexibility. Every price increase hits directly. And housing, that's where it breaks. Experts say housing should take up no more than 30% of income. But millions of seniors are now spending over 50%, some even more. In cities like New York or Los Angeles, a one-bedroom apartment can cost $1,500 to $2,500 a month. That alone can wipe out an entire Social Security check. What's left after that? Almost nothing. Food becomes a choice. Medication becomes optional. Emergencies, impossible. For those on supplemental security income, the situation is worse. Many receive less than $1,000 a month. That doesn't even cover rent in most cities, not even close. And unlike younger people, seniors can't just work more to make up the difference. Age discrimination, health limits, and fewer job options shut that door. So the gap keeps growing, income stays fixed, costs keep rising. And that gap, that's the real crisis. Quiet, steady, and pushing more older Americans closer to losing their homes every single year. Over the past decade, rent in the United States hasn't just increased, it has surged. In many cities, prices are up 30% to 60%. In places like Los Angeles or New York City, the jump is even higher. At the same time, income from the Social Security Administration has barely moved. That gap is real, and it's crushing seniors. For many older renters, the math simply doesn't work anymore. A basic one-bedroom apartment now costs $1,200 to $2,000 a month, sometimes more. The average Social Security check is around $1,800. That means rent alone can take everything. After that, nothing left. No money for groceries, no money for medication. No margin for error. This is why millions of seniors are now considered cost-burdened. According to the Joint Center for Housing Studies of Harvard University, many older adults spend more than 50% of their income just to stay housed. That's not sustainable, it's survival. And it only takes one problem to break it. A medical bill, a car repair, a spike in utility costs, miss one rent payment, maybe two, and eviction starts fast. The Eviction Lab has documented millions of eviction filings every year across the country. Seniors are an increasing share of that number. Then there's another layer. Many older adults live in buildings that are being renovated or sold. Investors step in, rents go up, sometimes overnight. People who've lived in the same apartment for 20 or 30 years suddenly can't afford to stay, they're forced out. No warning, no backup plan. At the same time, competition is getting tougher. Younger renters often have dual incomes or higher wages. They can outbid seniors for the same limited units. So older adults are left with fewer choices and fewer chances. And then comes healthcare. Even with Medicare, costs don't disappear. Seniors still pay premiums, deductibles, co-pays, and uncovered services. According to estimates from Fidelity Investments, a retired couple may need over $300,000 just to cover health care in retirement. Prescription drugs make it worse. Some cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars a month. So seniors are forced into impossible decisions: pay for treatment or pay rent. Either way, something critical is lost. This isn't random. It's a pattern. A slow breakdown, and it doesn't start with eviction. It starts years earlier with financial erosion that most people don't see. Chronic illness, ongoing medical costs, limited income, it builds quietly over time. Then comes long-term care. Assisted living or nursing homes can cost $4,000 to $10,000 a month. On a fixed income, that's not just difficult, it's impossible. This is how it happens, not all at once, but step by step until there's nowhere left to fall. For millions of older Americans, losing stable housing isn't the result of one bad decision. It's the outcome of years of quiet financial pressure building up beneath the surface. Many seniors enter retirement without sufficient savings, and the numbers are stark. A significant portion of adults over 60 have less than $10,000 saved, while many have nothing at all. Without a financial cushion, even small disruptions can trigger serious consequences. Healthcare costs play a major role in this reality. Chronic conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and mobility issues require ongoing treatment, medication, and monitoring. These expenses don't just appear once, they accumulate over time, slowly draining whatever savings individuals may have set aside. Long-term care adds another layer of burden, with assisted living or nursing facilities costing anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 per month, far beyond what most fixed incomes can support. A single medical emergency can result in thousands of dollars in debt, pushing already fragile finances into crisis. At the same time, income for most seniors remains fixed. Social Security benefits, which average around $1,800 per month, often fall short of covering rent, food, utilities, and health care, especially as inflation continues to drive up costs. Even modest increases in rent, sometimes as little as $100 to $300 per month, can stretch budgets beyond their limits. With every dollar already allocated, there is simply no room to adapt. Unlike younger individuals, seniors have limited opportunities to recover financially. Re-entering the workforce is difficult due to age discrimination, health limitations, and a lack of suitable job options. As a result, when savings are depleted, there is no reliable way to rebuild them. What begins as a manageable financial strain can quickly escalate into housing instability and eventually the loss of a home. Beyond personal finances, structural issues within the housing system are accelerating the crisis among older adults. One of the most critical factors is the severe shortage of affordable housing. Demand for low-cost units has far outpaced supply for years, and the gap continues to widen. Programs designed to help, such as subsidized senior housing and housing vouchers, reach only a fraction of those in need. In fact, only about 1 in 4 eligible households receives any form of housing assistance, leaving the majority to compete in an increasingly unaffordable market. Waiting lists for affordable housing can stretch from 2 to 10 years, and in many cases, seniors never receive assistance before their situation deteriorates. At the same time, existing affordable units are disappearing. Older buildings are being renovated or replaced with higher-priced developments, reducing options for those on limited incomes. Gentrification further intensifies this pressure. As neighborhoods undergo redevelopment, property values and rents rise sharply, often forcing long-term residents out of the communities they have called home for decades. For elderly renters, eviction has become a growing threat. With fixed incomes and little financial flexibility, even minor increases in rent can lead to missed payments. Once eviction proceedings begin, seniors face significant barriers to recovery. Many cannot meet income requirements for new leases, relocate easily, or navigate complex legal systems without assistance. An eviction record can follow them for years, making future housing opportunities even more difficult to secure. Homeowners are not immune either. Rising property taxes can make it impossible for seniors on fixed incomes to maintain ownership, forcing them to sell or risk losing their homes. In every scenario, the underlying issue remains the same. The cost of housing is rising faster than the resources available to support aging populations. Without meaningful expansion of affordable housing and support systems, more seniors will continue to be pushed out. While some aspects of senior housing instability are visible, a large portion remains hidden from public view. Many older adults experiencing homelessness are not living on the streets or in shelters. Instead, they are part of what experts call the hidden homeless population, individuals staying temporarily with friends or family, living in budget motels, or even sleeping in their vehicles. These situations are often unstable and short-term, forcing seniors to move frequently and live in constant uncertainty. Vehicle living, in particular, has become one of the fastest-growing forms of homelessness among older adults. For many, a car or RV represents the last barrier before complete displacement. It offers some level of privacy and protection, but the daily reality is harsh. Limited access to clean water, restrooms, electricity, and healthcare creates significant challenges. Extreme weather conditions, such as heat waves or freezing temperatures, can quickly become life-threatening, especially for individuals with pre-existing health conditions. Mental health and social isolation further compound the problem. Many seniors live alone and lack strong support networks. Depression, cognitive decline, and memory issues can interfere with their ability to manage finances, pay rent, or seek assistance. In some cases, individuals may not even realize they are at risk until it is too late. Without family or community support, small problems can escalate into crises. The consequences of homelessness for older adults are severe. Physical vulnerability increases with age, making injuries, illness, and exposure far more dangerous. Research shows that homelessness can accelerate the aging process by 10 to 20 years, significantly reducing life expectancy. What we are witnessing is not a temporary issue, but a rapidly growing crisis. As the population continues to age and economic pressures intensify, the number of seniors facing housing instability is expected to rise dramatically in the coming years. So when you step back and look at the full picture, this isn't just about rising rent or fixed incomes. It's a chain reaction: healthcare costs, limited savings, a shrinking supply of affordable housing, and support systems that simply aren't keeping up. And the truth is, this didn't happen overnight. It built slowly, quietly, over years, until there was no margin left for error. Now, with millions of older Americans already struggling and projections showing the numbers could double by 2030, this is no longer a hidden issue. It's a growing national crisis. Because these aren't people who made reckless choices. They followed the rules, they worked, saved, and planned for retirement. So the real question is, what happens when doing everything right is no longer enough? And maybe more importantly, what does that mean for the future of everyone else? Think about that for a second, right?